Speaking of the Browns and your team, the Steelers, I think we perfectly predicted that game. Am I right?
I said 14-13 Steelers.
And I was 13. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I was 13-10 Browns in this one. We said it'll be an ugly game to watch. There were 17 punts.
We blew it. Like we blew it.
You both blew it a million times. It was disgusting football. I remember sitting there and I turned around to these guys when we were watching the games and I said, I feel like every couple minutes, me or my dad goes, oh, that should have been picked. Oh, should have been picked right there. And at the end of the game, I truly felt that when the offenses had the ball on their own 20-yard line, I thought the defenses were in better position to pick it off and win the game by not having to move a yard and kick a field goal.
I was dying at the beginning of this game. I've never once laughed harder when one of my brother's friends, who's a big Steelers fan, was over watching the game. And the first drive, Cleveland punted from our 43-yard line. And my brother's friends, and his name is Anthony, he goes, I mean, the Browns just got the ball back at midfield. And he was right, because we got the ball on our own 1-yard line, went 3 and out, punted, and the Browns caught the ball in midfield. But Jaylen Warren's a bright spot. I thought he was awesome. And that was about it. I thought Kenny Pickett looked really, really concerning, missed a lot of throws, looked terrible. The play calling at the end of the game was very bad. In a position to win, didn't move the ball. It was just disappointing. I mean, the defense was good.
We can hit the Steelers first, then we'll go over to the Browns here. I'm watching this game, Jack, and we have supported Kenny Pickett a lot on this show.
He was really, really, really.
I do
bad.
think as I'm watching Kenny Pickett week after week right now in this offense, there's a lot of excuses with Matt Canada and what's been going on there. At some point, my opinion now is that the Steelers are going to be looking for a quarterback.
Oh, we should trade Watt for Kyler Murray straight up.
Kenny Pickett. Remember the whole Kenny Pickett situation too, because the expectations are high given that he's a first rounder. Probably should not have been a first round pick. He was in a weak quarterback draft class. Pittsburgh kid who the Rooneys like, keep him in the area. So already overdrafted. The expectations were probably a little higher than they should have been to begin with Pickett.
It's a cool story.
No, it's a great story. But every single week I'm watching this offense and it's like a little 3-yard out route, and I see Najee or Warren get smashed by someone. Or it's missing.
Warren was awesome.
Well, no, he was good.
The reason that,
but I'm just saying the offense in general it's just brutal to watch, horrible. And he misses a lot of throws too. It's not like you can blame it on someone else. I can't have a guy who doesn't play for the first 3 quarters and then say, oh, he's had a couple comebacks this year.
Today,
let's keep it going.
Didn't even throw for 100 yards.
He had 106 final, I think.
Yeah, but the total passing yards were 77 after you factor out the sacks.
You
want to hear something embarrassing?
Yeah, please.
You know who has the same number of passing touchdowns as Kenny Pickett this year? I'm going to wait until I go up on the screen to drop the ball.
I'm trying to think of who's been in who's
No. You want to hear?
What, DeVito?
Tommy DeVito.
Oh, my God.
They both have 6. Tommy DeVito has more career games with multiple passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett.
Pickett has 1 touchdown in the last 4 games. It's abysmal.
It's doubly abysmal when someone, on a day like today, you had a functional running game, right? Now, Warren looked great. The pressure should have been off Pickett a little bit. He's got some receivers. And I think it's concerning. Paul, you pointed out people are worried about Matt Canada, and I think that's fair. You should be worried if in the second year of your quarterback, after looking this bad, you don't feel like you have a fair idea about how good they are. That's a complete organizational failure.
And we got the ball back late.
Multiple times.
One time in Browns territory, got sacked, took a horrible sack, ended up punting. Browns go up by 3. Then we get the ball back with about a minute something. And we take 12 seconds off the clock and punt it right back. Like our running game is great all day with Jaylen Warren. We don't run the ball once towards the end of the game. We get sacked, throw an incompletion, take 12 seconds, I'll get back to Cleveland. It was just horrendous down the stretch.
No, really, really bad. And
Cleveland with DTR also stinks.
Yeah, no,
they stink.
Yeah.
They stink. They're not good.
I was going to say, like you said, the game went how we predicted, and I think on the Steelers side, it sort of did.
Both teams.
But for me, the Browns it was surprising to me how the game played out for the Browns, and I'll tell you why. I thought it was going to be their run game that got it done. Right, we were talking earlier. The Browns are leading in yards per carry. They got the better run blocking offensive line. They were completely outgained rushing. It was 172 Steelers, 96 Browns. But Dorian Thompson-Robinson played okay. Now, he wasn't great, right? I mean, 165 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception is not an exciting stat line, but he made the throws he needed to make. He played middle of the road. And the game-winning drive he left was mostly him throwing the ball. It's not like he was
got the
leaning
job
on the
done.
run
No,
game.
he was good. Game-winning drive, he was good. Like, he was making throws. I'm like, oh, Pickett just can't.
And this is also his second start. Like the guy, if he came out here today and stunk, you'd say, okay, you're playing against the Steelers defense, AFC North game. It's to be expected, but he got the job done at the end.
Yeah. No,
and the Browns are set up really nicely. They've got Denver, the Rams, Jacksonville, Chicago, Houston, the Jets, and the Bengals.
They honestly, though, they could lose to anybody as well.
No, they could, but really with the defense they have, you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 5 games where they should probably be favorites on just from their defense alone. And they're set up at this point to probably, I mean, look, you could make a run at the AFC North if you go 5-2 down the stretch.
Yeah, the winner of this game was in good position to do that.
But it just felt like when Watson went down, you lost all serious threat from the Browns.
Yeah, it's Baltimore's division.
Yeah. But again, Cleveland with a big win there. And I do want to say for Pickett, no one has really, except for Lamar Jackson, gone into Cleveland and had a good showing this year. So
No,
it was already an uphill battle, but he
was overly bad.
No, he was really bad.
Overly bad. Like disappointingly bad.
Do you think if you go to the playoffs as a wild card, get blasted in the first round?
We'll be a 7 seed,
probably,
like we are right now. Go to, I think it's Baltimore right now. Is the 2, right?
Yes. Kansas City's the 1. Miami or Baltimore would be the 2.
We'd beat Baltimore like 13-10 in a crazy defensive game. Go to Kansas City, lose 49-0.
But let's say you lose to Baltimore or Miami in the first round. Are the Steelers looking for a quarterback this offseason?
I would love to.
So you're done.
I want to draft Bo Nix.
You're over this.
Yeah. I think he's terrible. It sucks to say. He's a Pittsburgh guy. I like him. I don't think he's good.
He's had some time too. This is by the end of this, it'll be about 2 years. So.
And he's had his game-winning drives. They're cute. They're fun. But I'm done. Mm-hmm. I want Bo Nix. I want Bo Nix.
I will just say, I would not be so quick to crown the Ravens the leaders of the division for the rest of the year, and I'll just tell you why. So the Browns split with the Ravens, right? So the thing that the next tiebreaker after that, if they have the same record, is divisional record. The Browns have played very well in the division this year, right? They beat the Steelers. They beat the Ravens. They beat the Bengals. So right now they're 3-2. That could be 4-2. That could end up being better than how the Ravens finish.
Where the Ravens lost to Steelers once. They lost to the Browns once. So the Browns, the Ravens will probably be 4-2 as well. What's the next tiebreaker?
So after that, you've got win-loss in common games. Right, we'll have to just see how the rest of the season plays out. But it's not impossible for the Browns to be able to win the division.
Could you imagine if the AFC playoff picture was like the Chiefs, Dolphins, Browns, and Texans hosting games?
Well, that's what
Who predicted that?
I'm like,
is that you? Oh my gosh!
I'm like, imagine today, like if we had won today, I'm like, imagine a world. You look at the AFC playoff bracket. It says 1 Kansas City, like 2 Miami, 3 Pittsburgh.
Oh, it's
a bunch of nonsense.
But now with Burrow gone, and the way the Bills don't make it, the Chiefs are just sitting back here going, "Are you kidding me right now? Is this a joke?"
And boy, you look at remaining strength of schedule, right? Like the Ravens go to Los Angeles to play the Chargers, host the Rams, go to the Jaguars, go to the 49ers, host the Dolphins, host the Steelers.
It could be the Browns division.
Meanwhile, the Browns, they play the Jaguars, Texans, Bengals, Bears, Broncos, Jets, Rams.
Are the Browns winning the AFC North?
The Browns have a real shot at winning the AFC North because their schedule is super easy.
I don't think Zach should be grinning ear to ear listening to all this.
I don't think Baltimore loses to the Chargers or Jaguars.
They could.
I think they lose to San Francisco, not to the Jaguars or Chargers.
Jeez.